So now we're going to be looking at static. And this is actually a very simple concept, but the reason I left it so far into the series is because I really don't want you to get into the habit of relying on static for your code. So I'll explain a little bit more about that later on, but for now let's create a new file and require it in our index file here. So class foo, and this is going to contain a public static function. This keyword is very important. We'll call this hello, and we're going to return hello world. And what static means is that we can call this method without creating a new instance. So we don't have to do all of this. We can just call straight away foo hello, and we do that with foo, which is the class name, double colon, and hello. So if we look in our browser, hit refresh, and we need to echo this, we get hello world. And like earlier, we could just, well, like always, we can just specify arguments. So return var, and we can change this to hello. So they act just like a normal function. And it's the same with properties. So if we say public static bar equals foo bar, we can access foo $bar foo bar. Now, one very important thing to mention is if we remove this, and let's say I want to return this variable here, so return this bar, and we say foo hello, hit refresh, we get fatal error using this when not in object context. And that's because technically we're not accessing an instance here. Now, the way I like to think about static is a secret PHP instance that's dedicated just to static methods and properties. And I know that may not make much sense, but if it does, then great, because at first static really confused me, but just persevere and it will come. Now, I do want to mention that you should really not be using static loosely. Only use it when it's absolutely necessary, because when you move on to things like testing, if you use a lot of static in your code, then your life is going to be really difficult.